What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. We're kicking off a new week here, 9 games on a Monday, final week before the MLB All-Star break. So we'll make sure we get our plays in. Grande, congratulations to you. You had quite a 4th of July, second place finish in the $4.20 max there. We were touting the Cubbies there on the preview show. Our example lineup, if you played the example lineup there with that game stack of Cardinals and Cubs, you probably were making some cash with Grande there as well on the 4. So let's look to keep it going here. 9 games on this Monday main slate.
Let's do it. Happy Monday.
Yamamoto and DeGrom, your top 2 price starting pitchers at $10,500 and $10,300. We have a returning Yu Darvish from the IL at $8,300, kind of giving him a quick shout. Christopher Sanchez, Jose Berrios at $8K range. Freddie Peralta, the only pitcher at $9K. Yamamoto gets Milwaukee. DeGrom gets that Angels matchup. Feels like DeGrom's probably going to be the guy drawing the ownership here.
Yeah, I'd assume so, which obviously puts Yamamoto in a pretty good tournament spot. Not to say I wouldn't play DeGrom because the spot against the Angels is great, but he's obviously going to be the popular one. Yamamoto is going to be the contrarian option there.
Yeah, DeGrom, obviously, last time out against Baltimore, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts in that one. Faced him again previously that, 7 shutouts. He didn't get any Angel starts. First time facing the Angels this year. So we'll see what happens there. We know the high strikeout play. Probably won't go Peralta versus the Dodgers. Always some strikeout upside with him, though, but dangerous matchup. Christopher Sanchez, we got a lefty here against San Francisco. Thoughts on this AK tier? Sanchez, Berrios, Darvish, and Noah Cameron is drawing a Pittsburgh matchup here. Do we finally go back to the Noah Cameron well?
Could. He hasn't really pitched great.
Nope.
Hasn't really pitched deep into games either since all those quality starts. He's definitely hit the skids, but I mean, you know, we'll see. It hasn't thrown a lot of pitches either, which kind of has been his MO this whole time. Interesting to see the post All-Star game announcement snub start for Christopher Sanchez, because we get the Clayton Kershaw addition because Rob Manfred decides he's a legacy option. And now that takes a spot away from somebody because Clayton Kershaw obviously doesn't deserve to be an all-star.
Wait, they have legacy options now, or is that something that you're calling out as?
No, Clayton Kershaw has been selected to the all-star game by Rob Manfred.
Oh,
as like a legacy pick.
Didn't even know that existed, but all right.
Didn't either. Not sure what it even means and how it is happening, but Christopher Sanchez not included.
Certainly deserving of an all-star bid.
Certainly deserving, and he's been a dog since basically that random arm injury that he had and then doesn't have anymore. But he's been unbelievable. I mean, quality start numbers, Yeah, and the quality start machine, 6 straight, 2 earned runs or less in 8 straight, and then the strikeouts are super high ceiling. Really good ballpark. He's probably, I would say per dollar right there with DeGrom. I would say Christopher Sanchez is probably as good a play as anyone. And we know Jose Berrios is going to get ownership. I know he struggled against the Yankees. That was that wild game where the Jays got out to a crazy lead. Berrios blew it. Yankees tied it. Then they blew it. But that was the first bad start. Jose Berrios, well, he's been susceptible to some blowups, but he's had a really good season overall. Yeah. And he gets the White Sox, which the offense looks better with Colson Montgomery, but Colson Montgomery is going to strike out a bunch. So it's not like just because Colson Montgomery's there, it's like suddenly everything.
Yeah, let's not overreact that Colson Montgomery getting to make his debut in Coors.
Yeah, there's obviously a ceiling with him, but he is a 30% strikeout guy in the minor leagues. That doesn't necessarily translate right away in the majors. So
no, usually the strikeout rate's higher. When you have a 30% strikeout rate. And it's not just the 30% strikeout rate either, right? He was hitting .215 this year at the minor league level. So he wasn't – I'm not sure what he did to earn the promotion, but he earned the promotion and, drew a good matchup there. So I'm with you. Berrios also recently 7 2/3 shutout baseball against them, just 5 strikeouts. To your Sanchez point, Left-handed pitching last 30 days, Giants 25% strikeout rates, fifth most, a 204 batting average, a 270 WOBA. The last 30 days against left-handed pitching overall in the year, basically same thing, 25% strikeout rate, 212 and a 278 WOBA. So you might not even need DeGrom against the Angels here. You might be able to go Sanchez, Berrios, and just start with two AK pitchers and your hitters around that core.
John, if you had to pick just Christopher Sanchez or Matthew Boyd?
Probably Sanchez.
Christopher Sanchez or Freddie Peralta?
Sanchez for sure.
Christopher Sanchez. Those three pitchers were Peralta, Kershaw, and Boyd all made the All-Star team. By the way, Sanchez did not. All of those three pitchers made the All-Star game. Sanchez did not. Want to throw that out there.
Interesting. So again, Darvish is making his return. Not that we're going to pitch him. If you had a better matchup than Arizona, maybe we would have considered it. But no, thank you. And then the Noah Cameron matchup. I mean, Pittsburgh. You talked about how bad the Giants are. Pittsburgh's actually worse. 27% strikeout rate last 3 days versus left-handed pitching, second most in baseball. 222 average, 116 ISO, 276 WOBA. It's all very, very bad against left-handed pitching. You mentioned obviously the pitch count, as you said, outside of this random game against the Yankees where he threw 102 pitches, hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. This season hasn't obviously been very good. Some tougher matchups that he's had to deal with as well. Dodgers, Padres, A's, Yankees, Cardinals. So certainly a bit of a tougher stretch, pitched well in that Cardinals game. So maybe this is a spot where he can turn it around at $8,100. I'm going to be curious where the ownership goes with him just due to the matchup there. After that, where would you look to go? Do you think Yusei Kikuchi on the other side of that Angels matchup DeGrom matchup gets a look?
Yeah, I think this price is criminal. Absolutely criminal for Kikuchi. What has he done? Give me one start that you can look at that you're like, yep, that's a $72 pitcher. All right, there's one, 6'3". Okay, and then the last one before that's in April.
Yeah.
It
might just be the fact that he's opposite DeGrom and they're just knocking down the win equity on the projections, maybe. But
dude, he has not made a start over 7,700 since May 1st.
Yeah,
he hasn't allowed more than 3 earned in any of those starts. He's had 7 or more strikeouts in 4 straight starts, and from where his price started to where it is now, it's $200 cheaper.
Yeah.
On this recent stretch of games, it's where he's striking everybody out. It's literally cheaper than where it is now.
He dropped $600 against Boston, had 41 fantasy points, goes up $700, has 18 fantasy points against the Braves rather, and now drops $500.
Why? And like, this is not like, is Texas better? Sure. But we've said this a bunch with the lefties. They have they're like players that are coming into their own, hit from the left side. Kikuchi does not allow anything to lefties. So I think it's like Kikuchi with a bullet here, and then Colton Gordon with a bullet. This is going to be one of those slates where you can really play some cheap guys. And, obviously DeGrom and Yamamoto have the ceilings they have. They're elite pitchers, but like, there's a lot to like below that top tier.
I think this is your inaugural Cleveland versus lefties play. Colton Gordon on the 6th.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they absolutely stink. That franchise is in free fall. They continue to not call up they have 3 top 50 prospects that are just like, one of them has a 31 game on base streak. One of them's top like 20, their second baseman, 22nd overall prospect. And then the first baseman, they have Carlos Santana, who's 40 years old, playing first base every day. Like, and they've been the worst offense by a landslide. And this is in a world where the worst team in the history of the game is playing, and they're worse than them. It is an abomination that they continue to throw these guys out in their lineup. I was looking at their lineup today. They had 4 guys hitting below 200, and it's like, not just because they've had a small sample of at bats. They play every day. Like they play every day, and it's like, why wouldn't you take a shot on Colton Gordon? It doesn't like. What is the downside? The Guardians are either 28th or 30th in every offensive category against left-handed pitching. And it's just they're so bad. They're so bad.
I mean, and have him at $7,000. I definitely think there's obviously some viability there. You do have Heaney on the other side of that matchup against Cameron against Kansas City. I know he's had a couple of bad starts, but he bounced back against the Cardinals of all teams. 6 2/3 shutout, 7 strikeouts. So there's definitely a ceiling for Heaney. The Kansas City Royals are an offense that's still struggling. They're an offense that has started to strike out a little bit more as well. I mean, do you give him a look here?
Yeah. Again, another like tier where you look at it, you're like, okay, I could see myself getting Andrew Heaney, and I could see myself getting to Dick Fitz as well. $6,200 against the Rockies. Like there's a lot to like on this slate. There's a lot to like in cheap pitcher land.
I agree with you. I mean, Colorado in Boston. Richard Fitz in that start, 3 innings, 38 pitches. I don't really know what happened.
That was the rain. That was the rain.
The rain delay. Okay. I mean, it's the Rockies. Don't you give him at $6,200 a look?
Yep, just mentioned it.
Oh, did he miss that? Then I apologize. Anything else here?
Nope.
Okay, it's catcher then. Hunter Goodman is the top price catcher there. A lot of top pitchers there. Augustin Ramirez, I guess, in Cincinnati, 4K.
Augustin Ramirez in Cincinnati. Powerful dude.
Narvaez gets Gomber at 36. They played Connor Wong on Sunday, so Narvaez will be in the lineup here.
Yeah, his stat page is also completely broken.
His stat page. Yep, sure is. Definitely not hitting zeros. That's for sure.
But he'll be super popular. We know it. Boston gets another lefty. They're just going to be popular. They're going to score a bunch of runs. It's happened.
Dude, they face a lefty on Tuesday as well. Kyle Freeland. 4 straight days.
All they do is face lefties.
Yep. And now they're right. You look at their numbers against lefties too. Now they rank among the top team, like in baseball, in like all the categories. So
yeah, duh. They have the best 2 players in the history of the game against lefties, in Romy Gonzalez and Rob Refsnyder. That's literally having
Judge McGuire and Sosa.
It's Judge and Soto last year. That's
and Roman Anthony's actually hitting lefties. So
Roman Anthony's hitting lefties. Yeah.
Let's see here then. Value, Carantini, Salvi Perez, Kyle Teal. I know Barrios has obviously been good, but Teal's good and lefty bat there. Higashioka versus Kikuchi, maybe 2,700. Fry versus Gordon. I know a guy that at least has some power versus lefties.
If it's not Jose Ramirez, I'm not even considering.
Okay.
They're not even an option. I wouldn't be surprised if Jose Ramirez. I would not be surprised if Jose Ramirez RBIs equals the rest of his team.
You think that his RBIs equal?
Not legitimately, but it wouldn't be surprising. It wouldn't be surprising.
You think it's within like a range?
It's in like 50. It's in like 50. If you took, I don't even know who's second. Is Carlos Santana second? And that's the problem.
I was going to say, is it Manzardo? Like who's the?
Santana has 38. I don't think Manzardo has 38. Manzardo has 33. My assumption would be Santana's second.
Okay.
I just wouldn't touch. Actually, Ramirez only has 39, so I guess that's.
We're way off.
I guess that's how bad the team. I wouldn't. Yeah. I basically wouldn't play a.
They drive him in. He can't drive in anybody. Basically what happens.
Yes.
Fermin's down here at $2,300. So
yeah, Caratini's been amazing. I know it's Bibee, and Bibee's been good, but Caratini has also been good. And I saw Liam Hicks against Brady Singer in that ballpark. And shout out to Real Muto, 35 against Leonard Raup. Raup is struggling against right-handed bats.
Okay. First base position. Otani up at the top. Bryce Harper's 53. Vladdy 52 if you're looking to spend up. A whole bunch of guys there. Would you be willing to play Arizona against Darvish to see if these, got to get to him while he's rusty?
Yes. I mean, he's 39 coming off an elbow injury.
Yeah.
I think even if Darvish ends up being good long term, which I think, he was pretty good last year long term, and even the peripheral stats say he was good long term last year. I don't think coming off an elbow injury, it's going to just be click back into place. He's old. He has a lot of mileage, and it's an elbow. That is not a good recipe right off the bat. That they typically say your control is off. They typically say, obviously,
and he only threw simulated games.
He did
too,
not
right?
throw. Yeah, he did not throw. The velocity is going to be down. He hasn't thrown on in a real game. I think it's tough sledding at first for him to, and then he's going to eventually figure it out. But Arizona's offense is very good.
Yeah. Romy obviously is 44. Spencer Steers has been okay. He's got junk at 4K. We didn't really talk that matchup at all. Is there another play that you go to, I guess? Is there value? Toro can be played here. Toro is going to be Mega Chalk again, right? $3,200.
Yeah, Mega Chalk. Christian Walker, also broken stats. He's been really good lately, and maybe that's just because he played in Dodger Stadium, and we know how Christian Walker is in Dodger Stadium. He has some sick, twisted infatuation with that part.
Out, right? His numbers in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, he hit 3 home. I remember he had 3 home run game against them last year too. Where is something to keep in mind? The Brewers called up Andrew Vaughn. We're not going to play him here. He's $2,000. Rhys Hoskins is heading to the IL, so just something in mind for future slates. If Andrew Vaughn is going to remain 2K. Maybe he got bit with the White Sox-itis, and now that he's not there anymore, he's becomes a real player again.
Yeah, possible. Burger's down here at 3K.
Burger 3K too. Yeah.
That's probably it though. Second base. Ketel Marte is 6K. You can play Romy at second if you want to. McLean and Singer in that range. Stott homered today. He's 4K.
Yeah, I mean Marte is great. Altuve with his broken stats, he's hit a bunch of home runs lately. He has been really good. 5 straight games, double-digit fantasy points for Jose Altuve. Romy obviously is elite. I think the Marlins are a little bit interesting here, just given the ballpark they're going to play in. And Brady Singer is obviously just an average pitcher, but the Marlins offense has been much better. I don't mind Xavier Edwards, 42. McLean. Sure. I don't know what the junk splits are, but that's interesting because I know Jansen Junk had some pretty good numbers, but I don't know. I know he also got shelled his last start. So
yeah.
Struggling again. I mean, pretty bad expected ISO to both sides, so that's interesting. Mostly looks worse to lefties.
Okay.
Which obviously matters because the Reds have a lot of them.
Yeah. Let's see here. Semi, we kind of like Kikuchi though. Estrada. Nick Gonzalez has been pretty good lately. I don't know if you mentioned them there. Gets that matchup.
Yeah, he had the 3-hit game the other day. He's fine.
Yeah, they're former 7th overall pick, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Any other? I mean, I thought that was Nate Eaton for a second. It's Nick Lofton there. Confused me
Nick
briefly.
Lofton. Yeah.
Well,
India will lead off.
Been leading off though the last.
I know and we know he's gonna get pitch hit for, but he will lead off. Apparently that's their new thing, so he'll lead off. India 34, he'll also lead off.
Yeah.
Cronenworth against the corpse of a pitcher, and Zach Gallen.
It's true. Gallen's so bad.
He's just not. He's just so bad.
That's probably it.
Saw something. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Third base. Jose Ramirez, as you mentioned, is up there. Machado versus Gallen at 53. Suarez versus Darvish feels like a third baseman in that game will make some noise.
Yeah, former or future Yankee Eugenio Suarez.
I saw that there. He's linked to everybody. Barger's gonna probably homer because he's good.
Yeah, I think did Burke is Burke the guy that they made? No, Shane Smith is the White Sox that made the All-Star game. Yeah, Barger hits the ball really hard.
Yep. Yeah, Paredes, as you mentioned, Roop having problems with righties, so I guess Bone would be in a spot. Noelvi Marte is back. He's $3,800.
Yeah, he's definitely back. They're hitting him like 7th, which is fine, but obviously a bunch of power.
Sure. Matt Chapman's back. Not that we'd go that against Sanchez. McMahon and Norby at least have righty-lefty matchups. Let's see.
Brian Hayes, he hasn't been terrible. If you look at you start in the middle of June, he started hitting, and also another one linked to every team ever who needs a third baseman. So I think he's fine.
Eaton's page is broken, but he'll lead off again versus lefty. And
yeah, and look at the fantasy points. He's 2,500. If they're going to lead him off, he's been good.
And he steals too. He gets on, could seal bag, score a run. So Eaton probably ends up getting some popularity there. Shortstop, Ellie's up at the top against Junk at 59. Turner versus Rupp, as you mentioned, with the righty issue. Bobby Witt, probably have no problems playing those three. Probably don't touch NATO versus DeGrom.
Yep.
Dude, Trevor Story against a lefty right now. Gomber soft tossing lefty as well. Good chance for some damage here from Trevor Story, which again, if his split stats were working, you'd see the numbers, but he's on a tear right now.
He is on a tear, and he actually hasn't been great against lefties. He did homer against one on the Sunday slate. But if he's just going to start, he's just been insane driving runs in. He's top 5 in home runs, top 5 in RBIs amongst all shortstops. Trevor Story is in the top 5.
Dude. And again, he's smashing soft stuff. The average fastball velo for Austin Gomber is 88.7, and it's his most thrown pitch. Okay, his average exit velocity against is 87.2. Hard hit, they're almost a 40% hard hit rate. They're just lining up to hit off Austin Gomber right now. And the Red Sox are going to score runs, and Trevor Story is going to probably do some damage. A third of the time he's throwing an 88-mile-an-hour fastball.
I don't understand that. Is that whose fault? Who's to blame? That's someone has to be to.
Yeah, the Rockies for their staff, I guess.
It's awful.
Your boy Otto Lopez is 37.
He's really good, by the way. He's really good at baseball.
Yeah, his stat page works. He homered.
His stat page really works. There's a lot of big numbers in there.
You do have Colson Montgomery at 3K. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Okay. Outfield. Otani's here at 65. You do have Corbin Carroll at $5,800 back in their lineup again. Could be very tempting to stack against Darvish here. Don't really get the O'Neal Cruz price tag. He's been trash. Always live, but trash.
Yeah. That's not been
same thing. The whole group down there, Tatis, Schwarber, Springer, all good.
O'Neal Cruz is going to hit. O'Neal Cruz is actually flirting with the Mendoza line, huh?
Yeah, dude. And they moved him down to 7th the other day.
What the heck is going on? He just does not care.
He does not care. Just does not care. He did throw 102 miles an hour today. He threw a guy out at home, and it was 102 miles an hour from center field. So
it's so few and far between with good things that he does. He just does. He just never cares. And
the season
then
started off really good for him. He was walking a ton. His average 240, and then he just stopped caring. Yeah, basically hates playing center field, so he doesn't care anymore.
Isn't that crazy though? You just need him to hit 240 to 250 for it to be look what this dude is doing. It's
if he hit 230, he'd probably hit 30 home runs. Instead, he's not gonna hit 25 because he doesn't care. He's just swinging all out on fastballs, and if he hits him, he hits him. Sad Sad for John, his fantasy team. Hayes is $4,800. Yelich is in. Not doing Yelich or Yamamoto. Hayes versus Junk though. Chorio also has Yamamoto. No. Merrill versus Gallons 48 like that.
Oh, 46. Dude, he's been so bad. But this is a spot that could reinvigorate him because, like, God, it's been bad.
You know what's awesome is even though the stat page is broken, is how good Willier was before they faced all those lefties, and then he just hasn't been playing. He's not gonna play. He's not gonna play again for 2 straight days. They just won't play him.
It's crazy to me that there's just teams out there that do this. They have this guy who could just play 160 games if he stayed healthy, which obviously is a concern of his, but like he should play every day.
Willier's hitting 257 with 17 homers and 49 RBI this year.
With an IL stint.
With an IL stint. And will not play for the next 2 days unless he's pinch hitting.
And hasn't played in 2 days.
And he hasn't played in 2 days, yeah. Because of a lefty. The only thing I could see them doing is giving Jarren Duran a day off. Because Duran has been slumping a little bit.
They're not touching it though. They've won. You just won all the games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't miss the juju.
Dude, the reason Crochet only went 5 days because Duran made an error in the outfield, extended an inning. So maybe you give Duran a day off because he's not playing center, he's playing left, so you can play Willier and
it's brutal.
And whatever. Sedon's out there in center, so that would be the only scenario I could see where they said Duran and play Willier. But yeah, dude, they have a guy that could hit 30 home runs this year if he played every day, and they just do not play him versus left-handed.
He still might hit 30 home runs, even though he's not.
Yeah, still might. Again, a tough stretch here, guys. We like, but they're all facing lefties.
Stowers. My apologies.
Is it Stowers or Stowers? Which one is it?
It's Stowers. Yeah, I was listening to the Miami broadcast because I'm an Otto Lopez enthusiast. I'm an Otto Lopez enthusiast, so I tune in to watch Degenerate Baseball.
Dude,
he is awesome.
Your boy Edward Cabrera has been really good lately. Like,
I wrote a waiver wire piece that you can find on FantasyAlarm.com that was total Marlins propaganda.
Just all Marlins propaganda.
I mean, they're a fun team. I don't know. They got a bunch of pieces back, and they're just fun. So it is what it is.
We can leave Barsher down here. Castellanos homered as we expected to the other day at $4,100.
Well, if you've read the recent news, he'll homer again tomorrow. So
I haven't seen any news today, so I guess we'll.
Okay, so we'll leave that up in the ether.
Okay,
and you can read all you want, and we just bank a Castellanos home run.
All right. Was it the Texas stuff?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, I have no idea what we're talking about. Roman Anthony, $3,900.
It was a specific list. It was about a specific list that may be on people's minds more often than not. And a report about that specific list has come out.
Haven't seen it. So,
just know Nick Castellanos has.
Okay,
that's the whole premise of this. Nothing else. So no one get their minds anywhere else. Nick Castellanos has seen this report.
Fair enough.
He is homering tomorrow.
All right. Well, Roman Anthony's $3,900. I also like Mikey Moniak at 38. If you wanted to go there, Taubman 38. Benson, Jesus Sanchez has been really good. More Marlins propaganda. This whole $3,800 tier is all playable.
Yep. And $3,700 shout Cam Smith.
Cam Smith, really good. Broken stat page, but really good. Just trust us on that. Rob Refsnyder.
Red Sox and Astros. That's what we've learned, right?
Yeah.
They're broken.
Yeah. Refsnyder. The computer probably can't calculate all the numbers that the Red Sox have, so they're just like, not making any sense there.
Sure.
Gavin Sheets gets Gallon.
I mean, you just have to place it on Rafaela at this point.
Yes, you do, dude. And they're hitting him 9th.
It's criminal.
That doesn't make any sense, but they're hitting him 9th.
Wouldn't you now think about this? I know he's not your typical leadoff hitter, like definitely not prototypical. Is Nate Eaton a prototypical leadoff hitter?
Surely is not.
Why not just use this super freak in your leadoff?
Honestly, don't know. He did get picked off today. They had like the 10-minute rain delay. They had the 10-minute rain delay, and then he immediately got picked off first base.
Well, he was still warming up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. He just like wasn't paying attention. But they hit him ninth. Wraparound sack, I guess. The Rafaela Eaton combo, 2,500, 3,500 score on fantasy points. Let's see. They said they were going to sit Doyle for the weekend. They did. We'll see if he plays, I guess.
But he homered. I don't understand that. He hit a home run at some point this weekend. He played. Like, he actively was in the lineup. No, he played the last 2 days.
I don't know. The report was they were going to sit him. Obviously, I didn't click on his name. So.
No, they're just lying. They just don't. They just lied.
Fair enough. Anything else that you played on there?
Yeah, Nate. The Blue Jays have. I don't know if you've seen this. They've like switched their lineup around. Yeah, Lucas has been leading off against righties because they moved. So they moved Springer up to the 2-hole. They moved Vladdy to the 3-hole, and they're putting Bichette in the 4-hole. That's their new like iteration. They're leading Clement off against lefties, and they're leading Lucas off against righties, at least without Andres Jimenez. So I guess TBD. I don't know what the official status for Jimenez is.
Sure.
He went back in the IL. I take it back. So scratch that. Andres Jimenez leading off tomorrow. Can confirm he's on the IL.
Yeah. Can't lead off on the injured list.
Nathan Lucas probably leads off. Once again, I don't hate it. 3,100, a pretty good matchup against Sean Burke. So that would be something.
Okay. Anything else?
Heriberto Hernandez from the Marlins. Yeah. Another guy who his page is obviously broken. He homered on Sunday. Hit a home run. So that's everything's just broken on DraftKings today. They must be testing something with all these broken pages, but he homered on Sunday. More Marlins for you. Grishik, if he's in the lineup, I would play just because how bad Darvish could be. Jake McCarthy. McCarthy stayed up, right? They sent down Towanator, I believe. So if McCarthy were to play, another guy that could benefit from just like playing every day and has obviously been better. That's probably it. Can't play Cags. Cags has been.
Dude, he's so cooked. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he'll probably eventually like figure it out, but right now he's.
Yeah, I'm most confident that Caglione long term will figure it out. But like that ain't happening right now.
Not yeah, it's not happening at the very second here. All right. I'm kind of more in on the fact that I think we can go like Sanchez and
down like anyone below Sanchez. There's like 10 guys. Kikuchi, Gordon, Heaney, Fitz. I mean, there's a lot to like on the slate.
I agree with you there.
Why don't we start at Yusei, and then like if we have options below him that if we need money, we could just go down.
Sure. All right. So that's $4,200 a player. We want Boston, right? I guess.
Yeah, I mean Boston looks super good. Honestly, is it crazy to start with their 9-hitter? But I mean, he's been as good as anybody in that lineup.
Well, I mean, they're 9-1. I mean, their leadoff hitter is $2,500.
Their leadoff hitter is $25, and we'll be able to play anyone we want. I mean, the stack is whatever you get, literally whatever you want. There's no like you could play.
Would you rather go against Darvish or would you rather go against Gallen?
Tatis has only hit righties this year. Super good against righties. Okay. Takes us off. The Eaton play does remove us from the Machado business. Which if you're playing San Diego, there's not many options other than Tatis and Machado you'd want.
Yeah, I mean, right. That's fair. Get one off him and play like a Naylor. I don't like Naylor's been fine. I'm not really like in love with Naylor though.
Not at the price. If we're spending up on Arizona, it's probably Cattell or right. I mean Cattell. I know we typically don't spend 6,600 for a second baseman. Oh, you know what? We could also do. I kind of like that Marlins game. So if we wanted to play Marlins and or Ellie De La Cruz, that works as well. I feel like that team is poised to.
I mean, if we do this, it gives us 3,500 for a catcher, first base, and outfield. Obviously, punt catcher. You can give yourself some money to play around. We don't have to play Tatis either. We can just like move off that game if you prefer.
I like targeting Zach Allen. I just wish it was any other team but the Padres because they don't really hit the ball anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they don't.
I mean, if we did this 3-man, that's your 1-9-1-2 or your 9-1-3, depending on the day.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. So we'll give you 4K a play, catcher, first base, and outfield to figure out the rest of your lineup there with Sanchez and Kikuchi. Of course, we'll put the full lineup in the Discord, get you guys ready, and we'll be back live at 5 to break it all down with you guys again for this 9-game main slate. Good luck, everybody. We'll catch you later.